We are on the test server. We're going to be taking an early look at the new mech knife, now known as Silverthorn. This is a legendary attacker mech that fits nicely into tier 10, and the ability is as follows. Fires 5 blades, damaging and slowing on hit. After a time, the blades retract, dealing splash damage around the target based on the damage dealt to them by the mech while the ability was active. The blade burst damage radius is listed as 100 meters. There's no way that that's correct. I think that that's the ability range, but the duration is 3.5 seconds, so you have a very short window as the Silverthorn to stack up that extra damage. As you can see here, 50% of the damage that you deal is going to be stacked as extra damage up to a maximum of 60,000. I probably already showed some gameplay in the intro, but this is the first time that I'm using this. I have not used it a single time. Okay, like, this thing does not, it moves so straight. Like, it does not bounce at all. There's been multiple mechs that they've made it bounce a little bit when they walk. This one just, like, it's so smooth. Okay, so what's the ability like? Oh, okay. Right. That is actually a super sick animation. Hold on, let me see that again. Hey, I think I want to like move forward while that's happening. I don't know why it does it twice, but that's really cool. Okay, so there's no homing to it. I was kind of expecting homing, I'm not gonna lie. I have no ability implants on here, but there are multiple, but I wanted to try it the way that it is, just stock, right, without any implants. I don't want to kill that guy with the thing. I kind of want to hit somebody else with it. Okay. So what is the... I can't really visually see the radius, to be honest, so I don't really know what's going on with that. There's a little bit of delay, it seems like. So when it pulls back, there's... Okay. So when it pulls back, there's no damage on the mech itself that you hit. It's good to know. I thought maybe there would be. Okay. Everything about this ability is honestly really solid, I think. Oh, it even shows... Oh, so you have to hit them with the... Okay. It shows how much damage, extra damage they take. And then I think when it pulls back, it deals a bunch of damage when it pulls back. It fires from pretty high up, so you can see... Nice. I'm really, really curious how this does against multi-layered mods, specifically. Probably won't see a lot of bots using those, but I'll be able to try it against players, hopefully. Tomorrow, by the time this video comes out, I'm recording it like a week in advance, but by the time this comes out, it'll be like one day before it comes to the live server. But yeah, super interesting. So I have it with Oracle now. Naturally, because of the way that the ability works and the damage stacking that it has for a short period of time, you're gonna want to use it with something like Stormrack, because obviously, why wouldn't you? It does a lot of damage in a short period of time. So that would just make the most sense. And something like this, which, like, I don't know, could be good, probably straight up not going to be as good. I can play with it. Why not? On this build, I think I have radius. I still don't really know what the radius implant does, or like what the radius is. Yeah, you can see the extra. Okay. Alright, so I maxed it out because I wanted to try mods on it. And I wanted to try it specifically against enemies with mods. These enemies have pretty weak ones though. But let's see, this guy. He doesn't have a mod, but still. Alright, I killed him with the thing when it like pulled back, I guess. It's hard to really tell. There's not a lot of like visual assistance in terms of there's not a lot of visual assistance in terms of like where the radius is. So I can't really tell like if there's radius damage or where the radius damage is or what it's done. Obviously I have Tetra Rifle on it right now, as you notice. But I think this could be decent weapon for this. Poke, 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 poke. Nice. Figuring out exactly how this works is going to be very important to figuring out exactly which weapons you should put on, but I mean, my assumption from the start was you're probably going to want Stormrack on it because it's just like a burst damage oriented thing. And most attackers just in general. Like, you might think, oh, attacker means aggressive mech, but it doesn't. Attackers in general really don't want to be aggressive. Most of the time, they want to be passive. But yeah, there's a bit of timing involved in terms of like when do you fire your ability versus when do you fire your weapons to get that stacking thing. Of course, purposely waiting to fire your weapons could mean that you take damage, and that's not really a good thing. In a lot of cases, you want to make sure you kill the enemy as fast as possible. Alright, so I got Suppressor on right now, which I think like potentially could be decent. It's kind of hard for me to gauge whether or not any of these things I think would be... Tester is kind of freaking out. Whether I think any of these weapons would pair well with the ability. Like, there's obvious weapon choices that you'd put on basically any attacker mech, right? Like Stormrack, Gemini, Podgun, maybe Strike Rocket. Like any mech like this, which is not necessarily meant to be a brawler, but just meant to be somewhat ranged DPS type thing. There are weapons that you'd naturally put on it, but I'm trying to think of weapons that would like actually specifically pair well with the ability. It's, I don't know. The cooldown on this is ridiculously short though. I don't even have a cooldown implant on this. It's like 7 seconds base. It's ridiculous. I think that's like what Surge has, right? All right, and for the sake of argument, I have Revoker on this because, I mean, the ability and the weapon kind of pairs together. And I have it on Neymar. I've maxed out my perimeter multilayer and whatever. Because, yeah, this isn't gonna do super well, I don't think, but it'll be kind of interesting. Poke, 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 poke. 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 Oh, wait. Stop them. This guy, I'm gonna run up, grab this guy. God, I don't mean grab him like that, no. I mean just like, smack him. This is an interesting build, actually. I don't know. The HP on this is decent, right? So like, it's like Gatecrasher HP, which is good HP, honestly. Poke, 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 lots of pokies. Poke, 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 poke. He's got quantum gun, okay. Wait. Poke, 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 poke. Alright, so doing some tests with red, we discovered a few things. First and foremost, it should be noted that the effect does not take place and the explosion does not build up if you happen to fire at a shield, which is super lame. This includes mods, by the way. The listed blade damage is per blade and not total, so that's nice. You can actually fire it above perimeter multilayer. Oh, if I can poke him on the head, like I can get above his thing. In fact, I could just, like, get right up in his face and hit him like that.
Ooh.
The AoE does not count as additional damage, so it won't be absorbed by Galvanic Hull. But if you fire the blades into the back of someone, then it will count as back damage. The effect itself does not appear to be considered a status effect, and it does go off and give me damage numbers on Redeemer, but it does not appear to actually deal that damage.
Oh, no, nothing happened.
Oh, on my screen you took damage, you took 2k damage. It's not a lot of damage.
Oh, on my screen it didn't even explode or anything.
Eclipse as well also treats it as a status effect. If you hit it before it goes into stealth, then it will explode. But if you hit it while it's in stealth, then it'll explode, but it won't take damage.
But I got no damage.
It showed tank.
Bruh.
The explosion part of the ability does seem to bypass resistance, which is very interesting. Just makes resistance mechs weaker while making Eclipse even stronger. Thanks, Plarium. In terms of Weaken and Hunter's Mark, it does increase the damage per blade, but it does not appear to increase the damage of the explosion. Although Hunter's Mark will increase the rate that you can stack up the damage for the extra explosion. The stats list the radius as 100 meters, but that is in fact just the range. The range is 100 meters. The radius appears to be 10 meters. Using a damage implant does increase the AoE damage, and so that is good too. And speaking of AoE, if you hit multiple enemies with the blades, which you can absolutely do in one ability, then you can actually stack up explosions on both of them if they're close enough together, and you'll get double AoE damage. Yo,
Ouch.
I think you took 55,000 damage, even though I only had like 26,000 stacked up on each of you. Also, the blade speed implant is 100% pointless. Alright, so yeah, this is a very interesting mech, I think. It looks really cool. The ability animation is amazing. There is also a new weapon, Reaver 8, which is an assault weapon, but I'll have a separate video on that. It's just the 8 energy for now. Otherwise, that will be it from me. Appreciate y'all. Take care.
Ta-da!